Hey, Shooting Stars. Thank you so much for joining us for our second call. I sounded exactly like my sister there. That was really bizarre. So today we're going to talk about lessons 8 through 14, and we're going to do a little bit of a different format for those of you who were live for our first call. If you are catching this recording, thank you so much for taking time out of your day to kind of hear other questions, inputs, and things about these lessons. Again, we are reviewing the Self-Paced SoulFit training in the Facebook group, and we're going to go through each topic and then briefly, we only have about 40 minutes, and then we're going to see if those that are on the call have any questions. I do encourage you, if you're catching the recording, if you have any questions, go ahead and comment in the comments or ask your questions in the comments of this call post so that it's easier to reference, or just on the page in general so everyone can see your question and the response. Because odds are if you have a question about it, someone else probably does too. So we're going to go ahead and get started. Angie is going to kind of lead us by listing off what the lessons are about, just a brief description of them. We're going to ask any comments or questions. So take it away, Angie.
So lesson 8 is what is rank, and really explains what each rank is. And the video that's along with it is fantastic, so watch that. And if you have a question, if you are a coach and you want to be an emerald, to ruby, and so on, just Google Beachbody and then type in the rank, and it'll pull up in the images the graphics that you need to know. Because as we all know, with rank, that helps with team cycle bonus. And once you hit emerald, you want to stay there and then continue to move on, because that's when the opportunity comes to be able to make additional income based on your team volume and bonuses. And so it's just icing on the cake that we don't eat. Any questions on that? No? Okay.
Carrie?
Your rank. Can you explain what happens if you drop rank?
Absolutely. So when you are going through, before you get to Emerald, or when you get to Emerald, I know Kayla and I had this conversation in a Zoom call recently, how you're earning those team cycle bonuses. We do have a lot of resources for that. So if you're kind of lost in that regard, definitely touch base with Angie or myself. But your team cycle bonus is based off of your volume on your legs, and it's a ratio of 2 to 1. So if you have 200 volume on this side, 100 volume on the opposite side, that's one cycle. If you have 200 volume on one side and 50 volume on another, once you hit Emerald rank, as long as you do not drop below that, you will continue to carry that volume over so you can earn team cycle bonuses on those upcoming weeks. So that is just a brief answer to that question. That's why it's so important to, once you at least get to Emerald, once you get to Ruby and Diamond, sometimes it is a little shaky, but as long as you still have at least Emerald ranking, you're going to hold that volume and you're not going to lose it. For example, for myself, my left leg is so weak that the last couple weeks I've not been cycling because I don't have enough on my left, whereas I have like 35,000 right leg volume that's carrying over. So once I can get my shit together and start building that volume on the left side or my weak side, it will start taking from that bank. It's like a savings account of volume. It doesn't go away if you don't cycle bonus for that specific day or that week. Does that answer your question?
Oh, if you drop Emerald. Yeah.
If you go below Emerald and you do not have 2 active coaches, you go back to 0. When you get back up to Emerald, it starts accruing again.
So you don't, like, once you get to Emerald, you want to hold that because that's money that is out the door.
It's just waiting for you to take it. So, okay. Thank you for that question, Carrie. That was a great question. Lesson 9.
Advancing to Emerald is easy. So Emerald is having 2 coaches, 1 on each side. And I'm going to give my brief description on this because they talk about signing up your spouse. it is a great job to go ahead and sign up your spouse or someone that is close to you, close friend, mom, sister, whatever, because then they're going to be in the prime placement of your downline. Okay. So for the very least, do that. Now, if you are not able to afford to keep your spouse active as a coach, that's fine. Just sign up another coach on that side. Thank you for the visual aids, Renee. Because then at least they're there. They are there, and when you can't afford to keep them active, then get them active, because you're going to get a better team cycle bonus off of that, because that's essentially 2 sources of income into your household. So that's my brief description of that. But don't get stressed out about the whole signing up the spouse thing. Do it. Keep them inactive. Have them there. Turn them active whenever you can.
Disclaimer. Please make sure you are telling your spouse or your mom or your sister or your best friend that you are signing them up as a Beachbody coach. Number 1, when you signed up as a coach, you had to provide your social security number. I know a lot of us know our spouse's social, so we could easily sign them up. I only know the last 4 digits of my husband. But compliance will be doing checks, and I don't know if they do it randomly or if they do it once you start becoming successful or make a certain income, but they will call coaches on your team and say, did you know that you were a Beachbody coach? So although it's always awesome to have your spouse on board, if your spouse is not on board, do not sign them up as a coach unless they are in agreement. But I'm a perfect example. Like Angie said, I signed up. I was the first coach signed up under my sister. I did nothing but pay that $15 a month for 2 years. What that did was hold my spot in her downline. So if you know you're not going anywhere, sign your spouse up. Once you sign someone else up, they can go inactive. It doesn't matter, but that will hugely affect, the people that are filtering in underneath your downline will hugely affect once they go active or you decide to build them, that team cycle bonus that will stay in your household. Okay, Angie, thank you. Any questions about that, ladies?
Well, you need your spouse to stay active if they are part of making you emerald, like if that's their part to your emerald.
Yeah, and to keep in mind with that, you don't have to get Shakeology every month. You just need 50 PV. And an easy way to think about PV is like $1 for every point. So you need to spend about $50 to get 50 PV. So that is like Energize plus maybe something a little smaller. Like a lot of times I get Energize and Energize packets, so that way I have both. Or you get
Energize and Hydrate. That's what I make Jason do. I put him on home direct of Energize and Hydrate.
Yeah.
And like 53 PV a month. So
yeah, and that's perfect. Because a lot of times you get, and I rotate Chris's, because sometimes I'll do Energize or something, then we're saving a little money, or I switch it, and sometimes I put him, he does drink it, or I'll put his on packets. That way I have them as samples or whatever. So be creative with it. It's not like you have to get Shakeology every time. Just remember, you don't get PV on like things like that. And then also with Emeralds, what is great is once you reach Emerald and you hit SC5, you get free lead. These people come to you, you don't get credit on their initial purchase, but you get credit on any purchases that they make in the future. You can connect with these people, try and get them in your challenge groups, whatever it may be. And that is another great way to continue to build your business. So Emerald is really the place to be, I think, for any coach. And then from there is when you really decide what you want to do with it. Any questions?
What's it take to get to Ruby?
Ruby is Emerald on each side. And so 4 total coaches with 1 on each side being an Emerald.
Gotcha.
Then a Diamond is an Emerald on each side with 8 total coaches. 2 of them being Emerald.
Gotcha. Thank you.
A lot of people skip over that because typically you get your downline of coaches before people turn Emerald. So that's why people jump over that more often than not. Okay. Great questions, ladies. Any other questions? Okay.
And in order to qualify for the leads, there is like a checklist.
Yes.
You have to make sure like your website's set up and that you have a picture, and so make sure that you do all that when you're trying to qualify for leads.
Mhm.
Yes. Checklist,
and that's all in the back office. If you go into my business and then it goes into qualifications, and then I want to say it's like lead qualifications, it gives you a checklist of what you need to do, and it's all so easy to fill out. I just printed it off and then just kind of went through it. Any questions? Okay, lesson 10, using social media to grow your business. You know, I'm just going to give the highlight reel of this, and to, you know, you should really focus on going through that. But if you're not comfortable with social media, look at YouTube with, you know, like Shailene Johnson is amazing, has all kinds of free YouTube stuff. There's all kinds of YouTube videos to help you with this. But you want to make sure that you go in and change your privacy settings is one of the main ones. I have privacy settings set. Some pictures I don't want to share publicly if it's my kids, but if it's Beachbody related, I do that publicly. Update your profile pic. You do not want a profile picture of you like doing shots with your friends on the weekends. That doesn't exactly set the best example. So just really look and see what message you're trying to send about yourself. Because with all of this, it's consistency. People want to see that you are consistent. Yeah, you might have a couple bad days, but overall you're consistent. So go over that. It has a lot of do's and don'ts with your social media. The other thing two other things is, if you are having a bad day and you put a negative post, that's okay. But follow it up with what you are doing to better your life. So be mindful of your posts and what you're saying and how you are saying it, because, you know, have a message with your message. So really watch what you're saying. Be consistent with your post. I go for 2 to 3 times a day, which anymore it's typically 3 to 4 times a day. And when I keep a little notebook, so if I have ideas or people ask questions like, oh, that would be a good post, I write it down because I will inevitably always forget. Learn some photo editing basics, you know, very basic things on that. Download some apps and just have fun with it. But the thing is, it's just put yourself out there. Talk about your journey. That's what people want to see, and they want to know that they can do it too. Any questions on that? Because the next lesson kind of ties into it as well. No? Good. Okay. Lesson 11. Your Fab 5 for social media. And it's funny because this came up. I was just going through my summit notes yesterday, and they said to write down 5 to 10 things about you that you would want to share. So have those things. What's the most important thing to you? What do you want people to know about you? Mine is motivation, fitness, family, food, and funny. Because I'm fucking hilarious, right? So that's what I want people to know. So you really kind of have to dive deep into yourself and understand this. Your Fab 5 will change. They could change weekly, they could change monthly, they can change yearly. As you change and you progress on your journey, things are going to change. I realized when I first started out, I was all about like, I'm going to share healthy recipes because that is my background as a chef. But as I've continued this journey, I've really started to dive deeper within myself and the feelings and the struggles I have. And I feel like that's my message right now. And I still sprinkle in the food and stuff, but just figuring out what have you learned? And what do you want people to know that they can? Any questions on that? And if you need help, like jogging your memory, go back to that lesson number 11, and that will help you. Any questions?
I think that's what helps, like, differentiate you from every other Beachbody coach, you know? So be really intentional about what those Fab Five are and like what you're trying to attract, like who your ideal teammate is, and build that Fab Five around that, you know, because that's what you're to attract. And you
be authentic. The wind's blowing, so they're
what sets you apart from every other Beachbody coach, you know.
I'm going to add on to what Carrie's saying and echo what Angie said. Those things are going to change because you're going to change. So what you may find your priorities or your Fab Five are today, priorities, those things are going to change. Your life is going to change. You might change jobs. It might be a lot of things. The National Wake Up Call this week, I can't remember the gal's name, but she was talking about social media also. And when you're thinking about your business and you're thinking about social media, we're not just talking about your friends. We're talking about people that stumble across your page, people that find you on Instagram. So if you like love makeup, or you love redoing furniture, or you love fashion, like talk about those things too. If you like shopping or you like finding the deals, incorporate that, you know, to what Carrie's saying, that sets you apart from someone else, because they want to know you as a whole person, not just as a Beachbody coach. That's just one facet of who you are. And for a lot of us, we just kind of happen into this business. So revolving your entire page around Beachbody or plugging Beachbody, people are going to get bored with that because they can find that anywhere. They want to know what are your interests outside of taking care of yourself.
And I've been looking at mine as like my added value. It's not, you know, just my family and stuff, but it's what is my added value to you and me trying to help you, you know.
And how can people relate to you? Perfect example, Carrie, today. Your post, the graphic that you made was genius. 50%, you know, I don't know what the title of it was, but it said 50% Shakeology, 40% Energize, I think 5% dry shampoo or something, which is, you know, it talks about a product that you use, something about you, like, we like to show the good things and the clean and the crisp. But I know that anyone that uses dry shampoo is immediately relating to that post.
Who doesn't use dry shampoo? Anybody? Well, you don't wash your hair every day.
She doesn't ever wash her hair.
Angie, you're on mute.
Yeah, she's 2 steps from being a Rastafarian is pretty much what she's trying to say.
That is what I'm trying to say, Mon.
Mon?
Are you kidding me? My sister just did my hair yesterday and it's still like pretty good. I'm gonna rock that shit as long as I can.
You just throw a little dry shampoo in there. You know, fluff it back up.
It does look good.
It does. It's a little ashy. Anyway, enough about me. We ready for the next lesson?
I think so. You guys ready to move on to lesson?
Lesson 12 is all about using apps to enhance your posts. This is another thing that I look back at some of my posts from when I first started using apps to now, and it's completely different. And you just want to find your niche with it. The thing is, you want to think about like lighting and things. You don't want a very dark picture, have a light picture. Most apps now have ways that you can you know, do different things with your pictures and the filters and whatnot. But the thing is, don't overdo it. Make sure it still looks like you. You know, obviously Snapchat occasionally is a good time, but make sure your pictures look like you. And there's a whole list in that training of different apps to download. A lot of them are free. I love WordSwag. Amanda Duncan, a photographer on our team, introduced me to Pick Tap Go, and it has all kinds of filters you can overlay on each other, so that way you're getting really good lighting and like that. So just take them. If you're not comfortable with using the apps, just get them and just play around with some pictures. Take pictures of your kids, play around with it, and see what you like, because it needs to resemble you. Any questions?
Like if you go missing, they should be able to look at your Facebook and actually
recognize you. Yeah.
Is there a tutorial on how to take better selfies? Because I freaking suck at it.
just go like this.
Not all the way up on top of your head, but a slight angle is good.
Have your husband
Look at the little dots, so that way your eye contact is on point.
Renee, did you just flash us?
Yeah. Carrie said, do that, look like this. And I said, look like this. It's my sleepy time tea.
But yeah, that's all I got on that.
Lighting is big, Kayla. If you are working out, like when you do, I'm going to turn this so you can see the window. If you're working out during the day, what I do, instead of just being somewhere random, I will sometimes go right by the window so that I'm getting as much natural light on my face as I can. So lighting is a big one, because even when you try to edit those grainy pictures.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay, guys, we've got 9 minutes.
9 minutes. Yes, but what she said about lighting is key, having light coming towards you, not behind you. Because if you have the light coming behind you, you're not going to be able to edit those pics. I'm going to count to 3. You better get upstairs and lay down.
Another thing is tapping your screen. So when you're sitting here and you see your face, tap your face or tap in different areas so that your camera will focus on what you're wanting to highlight. So Kayla, if I was taking a picture of you right now, I would want to tap your face on my screen, not the anchor on the wall behind you, because sometimes your camera will automatically go to what's clearest and focus on that versus you being up front and center.
Gotcha. Okay. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that little square thing is amazing. Lesson 13 is how to launch your business on social media. And there is a video that Rod has done it. And there are different templates out there, but sometimes you can see, if you haven't had the post and if you haven't done it lately, then this is what I'm doing. And this is why I decided to do it. And just kind of telling your story and introducing yourself, like as a coach, like, hey, I started this and I'm starting my journey, and I would love to have you along the way to support each other, and just really shouting it from the rooftops that this is what you are doing. And when I would say the first year of coaching, I did that a couple times. I don't really do that much anymore because people know me well enough now. But when I first started coaching, I did do that. But then I think all of these lessons playing together, that it goes back to being consistent on social media so people know what you're doing. And you don't need to barf everything out there every time, like, challenge group, join me, whatever. Use breadcrumbing. Oh, I'm really excited about doing this program. Anybody else like dancing or, whatever? There are ways to say it without coming out and saying it. We are women. We know how to say things without coming out and saying it. Okay?
It's like fishing too, guys. When you go fishing, you put the worm on the hook. You don't throw a bunch of, hooks out there. Typically don't use a net or go in with your bare hands. You want it to spark something in their mind, an interest, or a goal that they have, so that when you are sending them a personal message, thank you so much for your love on Facebook. Oh, I really struggled yesterday. What do you struggle with the most? It provides more of an invitation that's going to have value in it, so that they're going to read it, not something that they're just going to be reading again because you already said every single thing about your life and your group coming up on Facebook. There's a lot more on social media, guys, that Angie and I have learned through uplines or just through trial and error. So if you ever want someone to look at your Facebook profile or things like that and give you an honest opinion opinion, or if you have questions about a post, what do you say? What, what do you think? Should I say this? Should I not say that? Don't hesitate to reach out to us, or even someone else on your team. If you have a success partner, that is a perfect person to bounce those things off of too. So
I did that earlier today. Renee, does this sound okay before I post it? Because I feel like I'm losing my mind and not making sense. And then I'll send it to some of my girlfriends who have nothing to do with Beachbody. Like, as someone from the outside world, how does this sound? And that helps a lot too, just getting a second opinion. Especially if it's a post that you really want to make a point, or if I have a lot of feeling in it or a deeper meaning in it, I definitely always ask for a second opinion. We have 5 minutes and 45 seconds. Any questions on that? Okay. The last one is inviting one-on-one. Renee, you should just talk about inviting because you know.
Okay, so everyone has a different journey, first and foremost. Everyone's business is their own. I know what worked for me, and that's really all that I can speak to. And guys, I started my journey and working the business in April, and in May, I started sending invitations. Did I have any right or any qualification to think that I could help anybody? No, but I knew that I needed accountability. I knew that if I had a friend that was joining me, I was going to stay accountable. We've got scripts and things like that too. I know some people are scared. They don't want to offend someone else, but it's just as simple as asking them a question. Don't say no for them, because think of all the things that Beachbody has brought to your life. And if myself or Angie was too scared to ask, or Erica was too scared to ask, none of us would be here right now. So just send out that invitation. Ask them if they want to join your challenge group. Period. You don't have to tell them what you're doing. You don't have to tell them about Shakeology. Ask them if they're interested in an online health and fitness group. Ask them if they have any health and fitness goals, and the conversation will go from there. Then it gets scary because they're like, yes, tell me about it. And you're like, well, shit. What do I say? Do I say too much? Do I not say enough? Do I send them a link of a 2-minute YouTube blurb of the program? That's kind of up to you and where that conversation is going. And again, don't hesitate to reach out to your upline. But guys, that helped me tremendously. Just sending out an invitation. That's it. Now, Facebook has a really cool thing where if you decide to create an event for your challenge groups, and that's how you want to send out your invitations, you can send a message that can be general enough for all people you're inviting to read, and it will send it to every single person that you've invited to that group in a private message. So that's another way to get around of that, oh God, submit, oh God, submit, 3 to 10 times a day. You can knock those all out, but still be sending a private message. That's a little bit more personal, even if it is general. But you've got to, if you're serious about your business, if you are serious about your business, this business is built on challenge groups and people getting results. It's not about scamming people to buy a wrap and dehydrate themselves. It's not about scamming people to drink straight caffeine. This is legit, but it does require work, and they need our support. And just ask. Get over yourself, because it's not about you, and send out the invitation. Any questions about that?
I would just say, like, the day you become a coach, start the liking, commenting, questioning, because otherwise it's going to become that cold invite, which is what you want to avoid. So, like, seriously, the day you sign up, and if you have any intention of growing your business, just start doing that. Start engaging in those conversations and being more friendly. And people love talking about themselves. So just make sure the direction stays there and their goals. And that's going to naturally help grow your business. But if you don't do that and you're just inviting, people are going to be like so turned off,
Yeah. And again, like Carrie's saying, if someone's commenting on your picture, way to go. Say thank you. Like, acknowledge that they commented and that they are noticing, because that's creating a conversation right there. You can ask them a question. You know, Kayla and her husband have been working out a lot together. Carrie has been has lost like 8 pounds in the last 2 to 3 weeks. When people are congratulating you, they are because they're excited for you. Tell them thank you and ask how they're doing. Just that simple. But we are going to go ahead and wrap this call up. We will have another call next week. It will be our last call. And then Angie and I have some exciting things that we are hoping to provide our teams and coaches one-on-one. So stay tuned for that next week. But we appreciate you guys joining us and your dedication to building your business, because it's only going to help your business grow. It doesn't give Angie and I someone to hang out with on Thursday nights. Like, we love you guys and we appreciate it, but it's going to help you first and foremost. So thanks for joining us and have a great one.